What's the biggest financial mistake you've made in your life so far? Today we're going to talk about mine. But first, this is a brand new YouTube channel, so if you could give us a like and a subscribe down below, that would really help with our engagement and getting the channel's name out there. So back in about 2018, I wanted to take advantage of arbitrage. Now, if you've seen any Gen X or millennial TikTok videos, you'll know all about arbitrage, but maybe you don't watch those, and so let me explain the concept at a very high level. Arbitrage is the idea that if you can borrow money for a lower interest rate than you can lend it out for, then you can benefit from the spread. So I'll give you an example. If you can borrow £1,000 at 0% interest and you can lend it out for 12% interest, then over a year you'll make £120 per £1,000 you lend, and then you pay back the £1,000 and that £120 is yours to keep. That's the concept of arbitrage. So I tried to take advantage of this. I had found a peer-to-peer lending site, which is essentially a tool that would allow me to directly fund building developments for the most part. This could be business developments or even flats and housing. Directly fund those developments, and they were guaranteeing 12% paid at 1% monthly back during the whole life of the investment. Sounds too good to be true, right? At first, everything went well. I had taken out a 0% credit card. It had a £5,000 limit, and what I would do is I would spend money paying for my regular shopping and things on that credit card, and every month I would pay the minimum payment back. However, when it came to getting paid, the money that I should have paid to the credit card to pay it off, what I would do is I would invest that in this peer-to-peer lending scheme. So over the course of 12 to 18 months, I had built up and effectively maxed out the £5,000 credit card. Just for argument's sake, let's say I maxed out the £5,000. So I was expecting to make, over 12 months, £600 in the spread on the arbitrage of the £5,000 that I hadn't paid back to the credit card, but that I had invested in the peer-to-peer lending scheme, and then at the end of the year, I would get my money back from the lenders, and then I would pay the £5,000 to the credit card. £600 is mine. Sounds great, right? Well, that all went well for a while. They were paying the 1% back to me, and then I was reinvesting it. So now, in theory, I should be making more than the 12%. I should be compounding on that 12%, because if you can get 12% on the first £1,000, well, if I get £120 divided by 12, whatever that works out to be monthly, let's just say it's £10, then you can invest that, and now you're going to get interest on your £1,010. So you're compounding on the 12% as well. Everything was going well for about 12 months, and I'd maxed out the credit card. What I hadn't taken into consideration was the risk of these peer-to-peer lending sites. Right? Why would nobody lend these developers that money? Why would a bank on a conventional loan not do that? And why did they need to raise funds directly from me on a peer-to-peer model? Well, I hadn't thought about that. I was young and stupid. I was 28. The company that I was doing my investing through went into administration in 2019. By that point, I had about £8,000 in my account, and I had £5,000 on the credit card, which I was making minimum payments on. I think I had something like 3 months left on the 0% promotion. Then the company went into administration, meaning I was not getting that money back anytime soon. In fact, we're now sitting in September 2024, and I still don't think I've got all my money back. I think I'm still due about £2,500 from them. Effectively, what they've been doing is they've gone into administration. The administrators are now working with the companies that borrowed the money, and if they can claim the assets and get the development finished and then sell it, they then are giving money back. But it's taking a long time, and you're not guaranteed to get anything. So here I am, panicked now, because I don't have that £8,000, and in 3 months, my credit card is going to go from 0% to something like 30% APR. At the time, I wasn't level-headed or kind of educated enough in all of this. I probably could have transferred the balance from one credit card to another 0% credit card, paid something like a 2 or 3% transfer fee, cut my losses and paid off that credit card as much as possible over the next 12 to 18 months. But I didn't think about that. I just panicked and went to the bank of mum. I was able to get support from my family. So my mum was able to help me with some of the money, and we managed to pay off the credit card in time, and I didn't pay any interest. However, that experience put me off trying to play with things that felt too good to be true, and even with credit cards. For the most part, I am not a credit card person, and I have come to that conclusion because of that experience. You know, that's not to say that I don't ever use credit cards, but if I do, I always pay them off every month, and typically I'll only use them for the Section 75 protection. This is for large online purchases where I will pay it off immediately the next month, but I am then protected if the thing I purchased doesn't actually get delivered or it's broken or something like that and I want to claim the money back. And that story sits with me and will sit with me for the rest of my life. I've learned that I shouldn't play with arbitrage in that sense anymore. We'll talk about how I do investments now, because I still do investments and I still do try to make money on the market. I want to become wealthy. That's part of the journey that we're talking about on the channel. But I'm not doing any investments that are that risky anymore. And I do budget actually a lot stricter than what we talked about in the first video on the channel. My numbers are a lot tighter than that, but that was an example that I felt that anybody could actually do if they really put their mind to it. And it also is quite fitting for my scenario right now. I'm between jobs. We do have a reduced income in our house, and that is likely to be somewhat similar to how we actually do our numbers. But when we have our full income coming from both of us, we do aim to save a lot higher percentage than that every month, and we are in the fortunate position that we can do it. This is my feedback and my advice to anybody who's watching those TikTok videos about arbitrage and thinks, I'm going to do that, that's going to be great, I'm going to get rich doing that, or I'm going to get rich using a credit card. I know several rich people. None of them said to me that they got rich by using a credit card. None of them said they got rich on Tesco Club Card points. If you are doing this, have you considered the risk? What would you do if your investment goes bad? Do you have an emergency fund in place? Or do you have anybody who could help you? It hurt me because I thought I was the smartest person around doing this, and then I had to go with my tail to my legs and ask family for support. And I swore never again would that happen to me. I'm never going to go to family and ask them for money because I screwed up doing some sort of super risky investment. Maybe you haven't had one of those yet, maybe you've got lucky. If you're in that situation, please be prepared to at least minimize your risk, right? Have 50% of the money held in cash or in some sort of high yield savings account if you are investing the rest, because you just don't know what's going to happen. Your investments can collapse. The stock market can collapse. Peer-to-peer lending companies can go into administration and you can lose everything. Please share your worst financial mistake in the comments down below, and I will read the best ones out in a future video. Please subscribe. This is a new channel. Every subscriber and like helps us get the engagement out there. And if you've got a subject you'd like me to talk about on the channel, let me know in the comments below as well. Thanks for watching, and we'll catch you in the next one.